Hello and welcome back, you guys. We are here with edition 6 of the Tips and Tricks series, and I don't really have much to say besides the fact that I am not a Fall Guys pro. I have just played many hours. So, do with that what you will. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started. So first up, let's look at Royal Fumble. This is a strategy for an easy win. You're going to come over here. Okay, now we have our first ever creative round in this series, Ruta en la Selva. Hope I didn't butcher that, by the wonderful A La Revenant. But anyway, this is a little speedrunning strat, pretty simple but very effective. You're going to jump through this slat right here, and you get boosted ahead by the bar. I'll play this again a little slower. As you can see, you can jump straight through, and the bar can just take you. It's very simple, actually, and yet it gives you a great boost. So definitely try this out your next time playing this round. Now, Airtime. Airtime, of course, has a single strategy that works best for winning that you should do every time, which isn't the point of this clip. You'll see it, but this is what we would do in the event that we fail in the middle of this strategy. So, of course, we're waiting here, we're waiting here. Our goal is to jump up and grab the bar, but we miss. As you can see there, we can dive onto the flipper right up back onto the platform, and we can carry on as per usual. See if I mess it up this time. Oh, okay, almost did, but right back on, and it's like it never happened. Easy qual. Now let me run this one more time just so you can see in slow-mo. There's really nothing lucky about it. If you're able to jump straight onto the flipper, the timing will align such that you can land back on the kind of the platform as it's flattening again. So, easy peasy. Okay, so this next one is a genuine and serious piece of advice that I really hope you consider listening to, because I guarantee you almost everyone watching this video either does this or at least has done this in the past. Okay, what I'm talking about is this. At the end of rounds, specifically survival rounds, the temptation to jump off over the edge sort of as the timer is running out. Okay, don't do that. Alright, I know it sounds like I'm being like a stickler or like, really like too serious about that, but don't do it. I'm telling you right now, it has happened way too many times that I've seen people try to get cute or do that. If it's solos, you're cooked. You're dead. And if you're in duos or squads, I have seen it so many times where somebody doing that and timing it incorrectly leads to them not qualifying. It's just don't do it. Just don't do it. And I unfortunately don't have many clips of that happening, but I know we've all seen it. I know we all know that it goes on. And as you can see here, I have done it myself. I'm ashamed of it, but I don't do it anymore. So please consider taking that piece of advice. Now next up, we have Kraken Slam, one of the most amazing finals ever. And of course, we are talking about timing out. You didn't just see that clip. But anyway, we are talking about timing out Kraken Slam. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so first things first, and being completely serious, this is very difficult to do. It's a super hard strat, and honestly, I'm not even, I would say, great at it, but I've practiced it a lot. I know how to do it, and I can do it. So that's number one. Just keep in mind, this is very difficult. Number two, you are going to fail a lot. You just are. I mean, time and time again, you're going to fail, and you basically got to be okay with saying, okay, I'm not going to win this game. I might not win the next game. I might not win the next game. But you know what? You got to keep practicing. So what I would say to that is maybe don't practice this in, say, duos or squads, but customs, solos, or if you're like me, what I did is I practiced this in Finals Marathon. It's a great time. And of course, survival of the fittest as well. And then the third and final thing here is we need to answer, why would we even do this, right? Kraken Slam is a final where it's very much player versus player, just as much as it's player versus map, so we don't need to do this. So why would we do this? Well, there's two reasons. One is because it's fun, right? But the second is, let's say we're in a lobby with good players and there's kind of an unspoken or unwritten rule of like respect, and you guys just want to see how far you can take it. kind of on your own merit, this is when you would do that. So say for me personally, I've practiced tons of times. I've practiced this strategy a lot. I think I've only pulled it out in an actual game maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 times. But, it's still fun. So, in my opinion, it's worth doing. But anyway, with all that established, we can kind of get into the good stuff. So, this strategy can be understood in 2 parts. Part 1, getting up on the side of the tile, as you can see here. And part 2, of course, getting down off the tile when kind of the quadrant flips back into place, as you can see here. Right? Alright, so let's check this out in slow motion. So as soon as the quadrant begins to tip, we put our arms out and we walk slowly forward. Alright, at about this point, we see we get kind of stuck on the lip, right? I'm moving forward and yet my bean isn't going forward. I'm kind of stuck. Keep moving ever so slightly. Not too fast, not too slow, same speed. And as you can see, we keep moving, and voila. By the time it's, stuck in place, we're up there. And one thing I'll say about getting up, at least in my experience, is more often than not, you will make a mistake in going too slow and slipping backwards than you will walking off the front. Alright, so keep that in mind as you're practicing this. You're more likely to fall off backwards than you are to go too far forward. So really commit to it. But anyway, now let's watch the dismount. We'll play it a couple times in real time, as you can see here. Alright, and then we'll slow it down. So the dismount. Alright, 1 second after the quadrant begins to turn back down is when we make our move. Okay, 1 second. Alright, and really all we're doing is we're turning, jumping, turning again, and then diving, as you can see there. I will be honest with you, this part is very tricky. And here in a second, I'm going to show you a ton of clips of me messing up this part. I mean, I have messed it up so many times, you wouldn't even believe it. And really quick, you guys, I want to draw your attention to something. I want you to notice where I'm landing on the dismount. As you can see, it's the top of the square, the top of the tile. You'll see in this next clip as well, in most successful dismounts, you're landing at the top. So just something to keep in mind. But anyway, here's another example real quick. We make it up. It's all fine and dandy. Yippee. And then when it comes to the dismount, we'll see that same strategy. And we land, again, towards the top. It doesn't have to be perfect, but close enough. And just one more word on the dismount. I will note that I understand there is another strategy that exists for dismounting that involves you walking off the front and bouncing off of that orange beam you see under the tile. I don't know it. I'm not good at it, so unfortunately, I can't help with that. But with that being said, I'm just going to play a few clips of me absolutely failing the dismount, and maybe you'll find some joy in my misery. Now, that just about does it for today. I'm sure you guys are plenty tired of hearing me yap about Kraken Slam. I know that was a lot, but it's a difficult strat. But anyway, of course, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And I hope there's something you can take and try in the game. Of course, if there's recommendations you have for future tips, I'm totally here for it. So yeah, thank you for watching.